What's up, bitches? We're continuing Ace Attorney today. How's everyone doing? I'm doing alright. Kind of had to rush to get home, but... Anyways. Oh, right, this is where we left off. How you doing, babe? Baby? What was that noise? The fuck?
Oh,
okay, babe.
Excuse me, I was just gagging over Lady Gaga's brand new song, Sour Candy. Stream now. I'm kidding, it's not that good. I mean, it's a good song. I already heard the whole album because it leaked. I love listening to leaks. It's a good song. They got some good shit. I'm gonna go listen to it right now while you do stupid lawyer stuff.
This is supposed to be 2GaysStream, but apparently it's one gay streaming while another just sometimes chimes in and helps him figure out how to fucking play Phoenix Wright.
Yeah, pretty much.
One of these days we'll actually be doing multiplayer stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like I'll have you
but when we're playing something, yeah, that would be nice. But when we're playing something that's not this, our next game before we hit the second game in the trilogy, that'll be more lighthearted and fun, will be much more 2GaysStream. And besides, it's still 2GaysStreaming because there are 2 gays and they are streaming. So technically we're doing what the title asks.
I mean, I guess. Anyways, hello, Midnight. I'm making mac and cheese. Ooh, delicious. And no, your internet connection is not terrible. I did read that. I was just letting Andrew finish talking for a little bit. Anyways, I'm gonna get right into the thing. Anyways, although I will ask, how are you doing, Midnight, besides the mac and cheese? Because the mac and cheese sounds good. Anyways, Your Honor, wait. Emma, the defense has an objection. A scientific objection. Right? What do you mean, right? Mr. Wright, are you this girl's guardian? Your Honor! Oh, in a sense. Please, Your Honor. All I'm asking for is a minute of your time. Please hear me out. Mr. Edgeworth, please. I don't want to leave any loose ends. You want a minute? I'll give you 3. Okay. That works, Edgeworth. Okay. This isn't even actually like a witness testimony. It's just a statement. Okay. That's interesting. I was kind of in shock. I mean, finding out the SL9 incident referred to the Joe Dart killings. Now that you mentioned that. The names of both Sky sisters were in that file, but that's when I figured it out. I mean, what Officer Marshall was trying to do that day? So I knew his fingerprint had nothing to do with the crime. That left only one thing. The other handprint. You mean the traces of blood found in the Detective Gumshoe's locker. But no fingerprints were found on that one, right? No, but I figured if I examined it scientifically, I'd be sure to find a clue. So I ran over there and looked at it again. So did you find something? No. Oh, Emma. Huh? Sorry. I guess I'm not much of a scientific investigator after all.
I can't. Where are we? So I can be caught up in the thing. I don't know where we are.
Emma's on the stand.
Emma's on the stand? When does Emma go on the stand? I don't see that. Marshall's confession? Did we already do that?
Yeah. Did we?
I don't know.
We did the Marshall testimony. We had him say things.
Witness Mystery Man. Present Jake Marshall profile. Examine evidence. 2 security systems. Marshall's prints. Bloodstained fingerprints. Security camera.
Yeah, we did that one. We had that the whole time last time, and
Victim's location. Detective Goodman. Ack. Try thinking outside the box.
wasn't there a sequel to Zero Escape? We did all 3
Prevent
games,
blood.
Midnight.
Yes, we did.
Yeah. We did 999.
Then we did all 3. Richard's Last Reward and then Zero Time Dilemma.
Yeah.
We did all of them.
Yeah.
God, that feels weird that we did all of them.
I mean, it doesn't to me. We spent so fucking long on all 3 of those goddamn games.
Where are we? Your way, Your Honor. Girl's guardian. In shock. No, not much of a scientific investigator.
Ellipses. Is that all? Please don't be mad. I'm just a high school student. Emma! Emma, what were you thinking you would do on the witness stand? What were you thinking you would do if you didn't have anything? And I'm just an attorney battling for your sister's life. But Mr. Wright, those traces of blood are the only clue we have. If you can't find something wrong with them, please, Mr. Wright, you're a professional. If anyone can save Lana, it's you. Me? Oh, God. Time is up. Now then, Mr. Wright. With regard to the incident at the police department, does any reasonable doubt remain? It appears the defense is troubled by the other blood mark. Looking at the floor plans, a handprint was discovered around here. Is there a problem with this? Mr. Wright, I'm sorry I can't be of more use. But still, if you can't find anything wrong with that blood mark, then it will be... Please answer my question, Mr. Wright. We don't have all day. Yes, Your Honor. If ever I've needed to concentrate, it's now. What could be wrong with the handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker? Could there be something I'm missing? When was that handprint made? Because it was shown by Luminol, but someone was wearing gloves. When was that made? The irritating thing is, it wasn't necessarily made today. Or that day. It just has to have been made within a recent enough time that the blood didn't decay. I think Luminol can show blood up to like 48 hours after, or maybe a week, but I object. Oh, excuse me. This handprint left at the crime scene clearly shows a contradiction. Or a problem, really. The only thing that seems clear is your grasping, Mr. Wright. You've been staring pretty intently at those floor plans. Tell me, is there a problem with them? Yes, this is strange. Take a good look at these floor plans. Take a look at this photograph. Something is missing. Missing? You mean something has been drawn on there? Yes, in fact. Something that, when drawn, will completely change the meaning of that blood mark. Let us pray the defense isn't trying to just buy time. Very well, Mr. Wright. With all this evidence here, there's got to be something I can use. The question is, which item can prove something is missing in the floor plans? Wouldn't that be the blue badger? That's where the blue badger was. I'm looking to double check and look and see if there's anything else that might be there, but
what are you doing?
I have to present evidence about floor
Blue
plans.
badger panel.
Yeah. I'm just looking to double check and see. Why the fuck is Marshall on? Why the fuck is Marshall on the stand? Where did he come from? Okay, that's weird. What about that piece of plywood? The Blue Badger, mascot of the police force. Also, hi, Marshall. Defender of the truth, guardian of proof. Also, I apologize. I'm very congested right now because of the fact that I've been in a dusty house that just got painted, and it's awful. My Mac is awesome. Good, Goodman Knife. I'm going to get away from the microphone and blow my nose and mute. Did that actually mute the thing? Isn't that supposed to mute my goddamn microphone? That's supposed to mute my microphone, but apparently it didn't actually mute my microphone. God damn it. Oh well, at least I got myself away. I see Andrew in the Skype window just sort of laughing and dancing to himself, and it's cute. And none of you can see it. Aw, now he covered the camera. I don't think you muted it. Yeah, I didn't. I'm sorry, Midnight. It's gross, but okay. I'll make do. Anyways, explain yourself, Mr. Wright. Please look at the floor plans of the crime scene. The Blue Badger is not here. I heard your nose blowing at everything. Well, sorry. So what happens when we put him in? This is where he was dancing at the time of the crime. Well, what? That's right. So long as the Blue Badger is dancing here, it would be impossible to place a handprint on the spot on the locker. What? So that means... Just what exactly does that mean? It means it can't be done. What are you saying? Blood traces are undeniably found on that locker. Don't look at me. I didn't put it there. Mr. Wright, think it through scientifically. Emma, on that afternoon, Officer Meekins was the one who brought the Blue Badger to the evidence room, right? After he put it down, it would be impossible to leave a handprint on the locker. So that must mean this blood mark was left there before the Blue Badger was brought in? Just one moment. I will not allow such far-fetched balderdash in my courtroom. That's not exactly far-fetched balderdash. It may sound far-fetched, Your Honor, but it's the only possible explanation. On February 21st, in the police department's evidence room, blood was spilled not once but twice. But how? One time was captured on this tape, taken by the security camera. Officer Meekins cut his hand, from which a trivial but notable amount of blood fell, staining the shoulder of the white coat that Marshall was wearing. The problem is the other time. The time before. Someone bled prior to the struggle shown on this tape, and that blood was covered by the dancing Blue Badger. It had to have been Detective Goodman, where he was probably really murdered. Objection. That's ridiculous. I refute you. Objection. The murder portrayed in the security tape has been proven to be a fake. However, that does not explain the blood mark found on the locker. Objection. So then, assuming this murder you report really happened, when did it take place? I demand you show evidence that proves it occurred. When did the first incident occur? To surmise, the defense claims that, prior to Officer Meekins being cut by Jake Marshall, who was disguised as Detective Goodman, another incident took place in the evidence room. The blood mark on the locker proves this. Very well. Then tell us, when did this first incident occur? Proof must be presented. Proof that shows when the murder took place. There's only one piece of evidence that can show that. Now then, will the defense please present its evidence? What shows when the first crime took place? I'm thinking... This is a period of ID cards. We don't know when this one was. Though that is a pretty strange string of numbers to let someone in to somewhere. When was... there isn't a date on it. Or a time, I mean. Rubber glove, evidence locker, unstable jar, Marshall's prints, security video, SL9 files. I wonder, is it supposed to be the autopsy report? Date and time of death between 4 p.m. and 5:30 p.m. Babe, any help?
What?
What should I submit for, or what shows when the first crime took place?
I have no clue. I've been listening to Chromatica. Stan Chromatica. And spy it when it comes out at midnight. Although technically that's just here. It's already out in other countries. So technically it's not leaked anymore. I guess it was leaked by the people. It's not leaked. It's leaked by our standards because it's technically out for us yet. It's out in other countries, but it's not out here until midnight. So while it's out for them legally and they can buy it and send it, and then they get it to us, and then we listen to it, technically for us, it's still technically leaked because we've never heard of it, so, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, let me see. What are we doing?
What shows when the first crime took place?
What do you think?
The autopsy report?
No.
Damn it. Thought I was gonna get away with that.
Nope. The first crime took place before the Blue Badger was brought to the room. When was the Blue Badger brought there anyway?
Would it have been on the ID card record?
Maybe.
I forgot it was Meekins. Right, it was Meekins who brought it in. Okay, so the ID card record is the thing to show again. Take that! If the crime took place inside the evidence room, then the perpetrator would have had to have entered the room. In order to do so, an ID card is required. An ID card. Oh! The ID card records! Officer Meekins brought the Blue Badger panel into the evidence room at... Let's see here. 4:50. If the crime took place before that time, then it would be 4:40 p.m. Ah! Miles Edgeworth! Just what have you done? I never figured you hadn't heard, boy. Put off the act, witness. It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure out it couldn't have been me. No, I ain't getting it. I'm afraid I don't understand either. It's clear from the luminol test that blood was there. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood. That means the blood from the first crime was wiped away? By the real murderer. I would have had just 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body away, and clean up the blood. Unfortunately, that's pretty much physically impossible to do without being noticed by the cameras. That would mean the crime must have taken place before Mr. Edgeworth entered the evidence room. Let's look at the chart again. There's only one other card number reading 7 sevens. Talk about a lucky number. But wait, that doesn't make sense. How could Detective Goodman have entered the evidence room? Since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real murderer. that's the only plausible explanation. He went in with the 7/7s. Mr. Edgeworth, please look into this as soon as possible. Find out whose ID number is 77777777777. That's 17 too many, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I'm unable to look up the owner of that ID card, at least at present. What? Explain yourself, son. The ID number 77777 belongs to someone with a rank of captain or higher, someone who is a so-called executive officer. Oh no, it is in fact who I think it is. Oh, it's all pointing to fucking Gant, isn't it?
I'm not paying attention. What happened?
Just the authority numbers and rankings and shit. This kind of implies that it's Gant. He's the only possible fucking suspect. I mean, I've suspected Gant for a while because he seems really fishy and weird. But I mean, at this point, we would have been introduced to the actual perp, probably. Unless there was someone else who we like. At this point, we would have either heard of or been introduced to the perp, or even just run into them. But we haven't been not introduced as someone that we've only heard of, unless they were, you know, Goodman, who is dead. Or like Dark, who is also dead because he got the death penalty. You know, fun stuff like that. Anyways, we don't have the authority to inquire into such a person's identity. Objection! But that's ridiculous. Just how? I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright. There is one situation in which we can be granted such authority. If an official charge filed against an executive is accepted. An official charge? You're all alike, aren't you? With your cover-ups and your forgeries. That's how the prosecutor's office operates. Objection. I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I would appreciate it if you would keep your slander to yourself. Slander, is it? Okay. Let me ask a question. Yes. No, not to you. To her, the defendant sitting over there. Your own little executive. Lana? Objection. Don't be stupid. She's been charged with murder. Of course, we've looked up her ID number, and it's not 7777777. Don't play me for a fool, partner. That's not what I want to ask. All I want to know is one thing about that incident. The SO9 incident. Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. In that trial 2 years ago, did you really only use legitimate evidence? Oh, Lana's on the witness stand again. Do you need the witness to repeat this question, Chief Prosecutor? I heard it fine, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution for that trial. At the time, occasionally, we felt the powerlessness of law. At least I did. Lana? I became a prosecutor in order to suppress crime with the law. But before I realized it, we were the ones being suppressed by the law. Defendant, just what are you saying? I'll ask you again, Chief Prosecutor. Do they just have like 2 witness stands, or do they just keep switching places? I don't even know. During that trial 2 years ago, did you really present all the evidence in court? Can you look at me, an investigator in that crime, in the eye and say that you did? Chief Prosecutor, you didn't. I don't have to, Officer Marshall. Why don't you answer him? Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to, in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. But Lana, even if it involved forging evidence. Also, why the air quotes around forging? How much evidence did you really abstain from? Is the question. See? That's what I'm talking about. No. No. Order in my court. Lana's remarks caused such a stir. The chaos in the courtroom could not be quelled. The conclusion of the trial would have to wait until the following day. To be continued. Ay, ay, ay. Phooey. Looks like we're gonna be solving another case. Yay! A case within a case again! How many of these fucking cases have a case within a case? An old case encapsulated by a new one. Just like... we wound up even doing that the second time around because we included the old one. We included the first case into the second case because of the fact that the fucking thinker was used to, strike down Mia. Just like, ay ay ay. This game loves to play with cases within cases. So much history. I understand you want a world build, but goddamn. This game is weird. I like it, but it gets weird. Anyways, February 24th, 3:12 p.m., Wright and Co. Law offices. Ay, ay, ay. Caseception. Yes, it's the inception of the cases because it's just like, ay, ay, ay. And then Phoenix winds up waiting months to take a case. I mean, I don't know how he affords rent on the office or on his own flat if he has one. Just... yikes. I'm so sorry, Mr. Wright. I'm sorry for what my sister said. Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. Ay, ay, ay. I didn't know. I never knew that the SO9 incident was just another name for the Joe Dark killings. Sounds like everyone's heard about these killings but me! Of course, because Phoenix is our protagonist as us. You could, also just code it so that, like, oh, Phoenix just knows and he just thinks and relives these little bits of detail. Lana wanted Dark convicted so badly. That's why she used me. That's why she used what happened to me. What do you mean, what happened to you? It's all there in the file. Joe Dark's last victim was Prosecutor Neil Marshall. When he murdered Officer Marshall's brother, he left behind an incriminating piece of evidence. But what did you have to do with those killings, Emma? On the night Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered, Joe Dark tried to kill me. Wait, what? He tried to kill you? Officer Marshall's brother, Neil, was only trying to save me. So that means you... Yes, I was a witness in the Joe Dark trial. I mean, to be fair, she was listed under the witnesses, but... Anyways, I didn't see that one coming. I totally did because I read the goddamn file! Anyways. Let's talk. The SL9 incident. It happened 2 years ago. It was right about this time of year, too. There was a terrible thunderstorm that day, unusual for the season. I was alone in my sister's office. We were planning to eat dinner together once she finished her work. Then suddenly, this terrifying man came bursting into the office. Someone with the name of Castiel Novak has just appeared. A wild Castiel has appeared in the chat. Anyways, hi. Drama.
Who? What?
Someone named Castiel.
Okay, good.
Hello. But yes, drama. The drama of the situation. Or whatever the right word is. Anyways, this terrifying man came bursting into the office. Joe Dark. It seemed like he was running for someone. He pulled out a knife and screamed at me. I didn't know what was going on. Just then, Prosecutor Marshall showed up. Jake Marshall's brother. We know. You don't have to repeat it, Phoenix. Joe Dark tried to take me hostage, but before he could, Mr. Marshall tackled him. Then, what happened? I'll never forget it. Lightning struck, the lights went out. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning flashed outside the window, lighting up the office for an instant. When I saw that burn a permanent picture in my mind. I can still see it now. A permanent picture? It's called a memory. Let's take that. But why did you have to fucking split it up? Why did you have to split it up in the text? You know what? Never mind. What did you see in the instant that crime occurred? Dark knocked down Mr. Marshall and raised his knife. Marshall was stabbed right in front of this poor girl. I don't remember what happened after that. Apparently I passed out. When I came to, Lana was cradling me in her arms. Oh, forever, you've been through a lot. I couldn't bring myself to testify about that instant. I tried, but the words just wouldn't come out. I drew a picture, but it wasn't any good. 2 years ago, you must have been 14. I mean, that's understandable. You roasted her with that memory talk. Did I? Did we? Once it was all over, I made up my mind. I decided that when I grew up, I'd become a scientific investigator. I wanted to be able to fight crime with my testimonies. Find the evidence to make an airtight case. That way Lana would never have to forge any. I see. I think I'm finally starting to understand what makes Emma tick. And maybe a little bit of Lana. But there's still something that bothers me about that crime. After the incident. I don't remember the moment when Dark stabbed Mr. Marshall. So you weren't able to testify about that? No, I was only asked when I was attacked. That must be why Lana, she made up a bit of the crime. Made it up? You mean provided bogus evidence? The prosecutor's office wanted that guilty verdict so badly because, well, there was technically evidence that he was in fact the one who killed. But the moment of actual stabbing wasn't proven, But, nah. Lana forged the evidence and Mr. Edgeworth used it. Edgeworth? Yes, but I'm sure he didn't know anything about it. He couldn't have known he was being given false evidence. Although he's probably used plenty of false evidence of his own in the past. It's not like, in this case, he would have actually wanted to know. He would have used it. Anyways, even so, that's when it all started. The rumors about Mr. Edgeworth, it's all my fault. If I could have just testified properly, none of this would have happened. So it's true, even though we may not have known it. Edgeworth really was involved in falsifying evidence. If he testified with false evidence, he testified with false evidence. After that case ended, Lana was never the same. She became cold like she is today. She must not have been able to face up to what she did, especially not to Emma. Something puzzling. There's something that's puzzling me, Emma. What is it? You said you were in Lana's office at that time, right? That's right. Why then would a serial killer come running in there? Not only that, but he was being chased by a prosecutor. Oh, there's no mystery there. Joe Dark had been taken in for questioning that day. Taken in for questioning? You mean by the police? Of course. This happened at the police department. He tried to run away halfway through the interview and filed into my sister's office. But why did he run all the way over to your sister's office? Because the detective offices in the questioning room were right across from the elevator. Across from the elevator? But Lana was the chief prosecutor, wasn't she? No, silly, didn't I tell you? 2 years ago, Lana was a detective. Oh. Oh, right. Something puzzling. Edgeworth has the best morals for the House of Slytherin. For the House is Slytherin. Yeah, Edgeworth is a Slytherin. He's probably one of the more fuckable Slytherins. Anyways, she was the best in the entire force. What? That's news to me. After that Joe Dark case, she was transferred to the prosecutor's office and made chief prosecutor. How long did it take for her to become chief prosecutor after being transferred over to the prosecutor's office? I guess chief prosecutor doesn't usually do too much in terms of actually prosecuting on cases. They handle a lot of it prosecuting evidence and stuff, so that actually kind of makes some sense. Anyways, Lana used to be a detective. I better have another talk with her. Okay. How about we go to the detention center and fucking talk with Lana, can we? February 24th, Detention Center Visitors Room. There's no timestamp on it, but okay. A wild Lana appears. Lana? Mr. Wright, it seems I keep causing you trouble. Falsifying evidence. I didn't think you were the type. Criminals don't mind playing foul, so why should we? But Lana, if you're wrong, an innocent person might be found guilty. Believe me, I understand the risks. Lana, Emma told me about you. Oh? About how you were a detective 2 years ago? And how the SL9 incident was the reason for your transfer to the prosecutor's office? That's right. Could you fill me in on the details, especially about that unusual change of jobs? I suppose you have a right to know, Mr. Wright. Apparently, I'm a Slytherin, and I'm not sure how to handle it, says Midnight. I mean, just take it as a compliment on your cunning. Hufflepuff for the win. I am apparently somewhere between Ravenclaw and Gryffindor. Because I'm just like the intelligent type that loves puzzles and riddles, but also sometimes hates doing mental legwork, so that's why Gryffindor might sometimes work. Because I would find a way to brute force through a situation.
Where are we?
Anyways. I'm talking with Lana in the detention center now.
We're in the detention center?
Yes.
She already admit to forging evidence?
Yes, on the stand.
Yeah. I'm just looking for...
Cassio says Hufflepuff for the win, and I say, you know what? Why not? Yes.
Oh, you missed a bunch of... You could have talked in...
Oh, I did talk with Emma.
Did you talk about everything? Did you examine stuff?
I didn't examine items.
You should have presented stuff to her and examined
it. Well, I guess we'll go back after a bit and try that out. If we can. Snake bites the badger. The badger also happens to eat the snake. Anyways, a lot of revelations were uncovered at the trial today, not the least of which was the fact that this case is largely connected to another one 2 years ago. Evidence from that case was stolen. I expected as much. I know how obsessive Officer Marshall can be. That trial, it really wasn't fair, was it? I believed in you, Lana. I believed that no matter what happened, you'd always stick to the truth. It couldn't be helped, Emma. At that trial 2 years ago, I sold my soul. Well, all drama aside, the fact of the matter is, at 5:15, there was no murder at the police department. Tell me it's not true, Lana. What the witness, Miss Starr, said. About you stabbing Mr. Goodman with a knife. Lana, I don't understand. Why won't you tell us? Emma, this doesn't involve just me. I don't think I've ever seen Lana look so fazed before. Badger doesn't. Badger don't care. Badger, mushroom. Anyway. Detective Lana Skye. It's true, I was a member of the police force 2 years ago. She was amazing. They still talk about all the cases she and Chief Gant cracked together. Chief Gant? Then he was the vice head of criminal affairs, but he still worked the crime scenes, which would make sense. Damon Gant, he was everything I aspired to be. They were the best team ever. They solved crimes before the reports could even be filed. Emma really idolizes her big sister. But now you're chief prosecutor. What happened? I always planned on becoming a prosecutor. The reason I became a detective was to gain experience investigating crime scenes so you could later use that experience in court. Gant's help in the SL9 case was critical in its resolution. After that, he became chief of police and arranged my transfer to the prosecutor's office. Maybe I should ask more about this investigation of theirs 2 years ago. The dark investigation. Lana stinky. I mean, Lana has some skeletons in the closet, and I don't know how bad those are the things that smell, but clearly a lot of them have started to reek from the closet, that crack in the closet door? Yeah. Anyways. 2 years ago, I was second in command of the detectives investigating Dark. Second in command? That means that Chief Detective was, no doubt, Damon Gant. Yes, Detective Gant and I shared the same office and the same investigations. They even had the same office? What was it, a big open plan one? Limited space? Anyways, we led a team of the best detectives of the force. Detective Goodman, whose case it was, Jake Marshall, and Angel Starr. It was the first time Marshall worked with his brother. He was quite gung-ho. Without a doubt, Joe Dark was the serial killer. We asked him to come in for questioning. We were desperate for evidence. That was when the last murder took place, when he tried to murder Emma. Prosecutor Marshall was trying to save me from Dark. You see, the first person who happened upon the scene of the crime was me. Now you tell us. First one at scene. Narwhals, narwhals. Pretty big and pretty, but they beat a polar bear in a fight. Which game is this in the trilogy? This is the first one in the trilogy, in the original trilogy. It's, yeah. It's early. We still have a lot to go through in this series. Detective Gant and Prosecutor Marshall were the ones questioning Dark that day. The investigation was in its final stages when Dark must have panicked. He waited until Gant and Marshall let their guards down, then fled the room. From there, he ran straight to the office shared by Damon Gant and myself. That's where he found me. So you were the first person to run to the scene, Lana? It appears so. I was filing some papers while Gant and Marshall were questioning Dark. When I returned to my office, I saw 3 bodies on the floor and smelled blood. 3 bodies? Prosecutor Marshall, the victim, Emma, who had passed out, and the suspect, Joe Dark. During the struggle, it seems Mr. Marshall struck a final blow before he died. Joe Dark had incurred a minor concussion and laid unconscious. What did you do? To be honest, I panicked. I picked up Emma, carried her out of the room, and just held her. Can't blame her after all her sister's gone through. After that, I placed Dark under immediate arrest. Let me get this straight. You were all involved in the SL9 incident. That's right. What a coincidence, I don't buy that. What are you saying? There's no way everyone involved in this trial was also connected to that incident just by chance. But that case was solved 2 years ago. At least one person went to extremes because they didn't believe it was truly solved. Officer Marshall. Yes, his actions came as a surprise to me as well. Lana said smell. Sticky confirmed. No further evidence needed. Ay. Ever since his brother died, he's changed completely. I guess he wasn't convinced with the ruling against Joe Dark. Life doesn't end with the closing of a case. Everyone has to live the rest of their lives with their memories. That case just might not be over yet. Emma was assaulted by Dark at the police department, right? Yes, in the office that Damon Gant and I shared. The office that Mr. Gant now occupies by himself, the chief's office. Maybe we should have a look at the chief's office, the site of the final SL9 murder. Is there anything we can present for interesting and useful dialogue with Lana, babe? Andrew's just making smiley faces at me like, what?
What are we doing?
We're talking to Lana.
Right.
At the detention center.
Right.
Is there anything we can present to her to get interesting dialogue? You said that there was some with Emma that we missed. But I don't want to miss any with Lana before we go back and get the Emma stuff.
No. Did you talk about today's trial, Detective Lana's Guy, Drake investigation, first one at the scene?
Yeah.
Alright, that's all.
Okay, let's go back and do the Emma stuff. Okay, present. What is there interesting dialogue of?
Let's see. Goodman's ID, victim shoe, ID cardboard kit, printer painting set, screwdriver, unstable jar, Marshall's print, security video, S9, SL9 incident files.
So who's the real murderer?
Yeah.
What? Just all of those things?
All of those things.
Him telling you what to do is like the voice of God. Is it though?
It is.
Anyways, present Goodman's ID. Mr. Goodman didn't have this on the day of the crime, right? Right. A few days before he was murdered, he had filed a lost item report. Or tried to, but he didn't remember his number because he didn't have his card. Although stolen item is more like it. Swiped by the lone wolf who dressed up like him. I never would have thought Officer Marshall the type to do something like that. It didn't come as much as a surprise to me. Oh, excuse me. Water off a duck's back. Water off a duck's back. Water off a duck's back. Anyways. I remember the shoe was one thing to present. There was something strange about the shoe, wasn't there? Let's see, what was it? The traces of blood on its sole. There wasn't any blood found at the prosecutor's office. The prosecutor's office's underground parking lot. But we did find blood on the floor somewhere, didn't we? Where was that again? In the evidence room at the police department. Now stop using me as your memo pad. You have a memo pad. Emma, you have a memo pad. You wanted to help with this. You know what? Never mind. Screwdriver. This screwdriver was at Edgyboi office, wasn't it? Yes. He said it didn't have anything to do with the crime. Then what are we doing carrying it around? Hey, don't ask me. I'm not the one making the decisions around here. If I recall, Edgyboi said Chief Gann asked him to take this to the prosecutor's office. The unstable jar. This jar is pretty fragile. It looks like it's about to break apart. What do you mean about to? It's already broken. I meant again. This piece was found in Detective Goodman's evidence locker. That means this is somehow related to that other incident. Alright. I actually don't know who won Season 12. I wasn't watching. I'm not watching right now. I kind of gave up on Season 12, honestly. Are you wearing a prosthetic nose? No. I'm seething with rage already. Wait, why? Why, Castile? Why, Castile? Why? Okay, present security video. We owe our entire success in court today to this tape. At first, I thought it was a joke, but it turned out to be a gold mine of evidence. I counted a total of 5 clues in it. It also gave the Blue Badger some publicity. Of the negative sort, that is. Her gasp. Present. SL9 incident. It seems everything is somehow related to this incident. What was it labeled again? The SL9 incident? Yes, the name of everyone connected to this trial is listed in here. All that's left is to figure out just what role everyone plays in this case. If we search hard enough, I think we'll find our answers. What exactly did or didn't want to do? I'm not sure I want to know everything. Comment section big mad. That's what you were talking about. Well, there wasn't any spoiler to say, so like, anyways. Okay, let's go to the police department. Let's see if we can get into that office. Never mind. Apparently, they did the reunion episode last week and are naming the winner tomorrow. Oh wow! Okay. Howdy, Bambina. Oh, Mr. Marshall. I never thought things would turn, but out this way when I woke up this morning. Quick question: why are you a free man? Didn't you commit assault on Meekins? How are you not in detainment because of the fact that you committed assault? I mean, unless Meekins said he didn't want to do press charges or anything. Season 12 of what? RuPaul's Drag Race, Castiel. RuPaul's Drag Race. Consider, sir. You never know where life will lead you, eh, Bambina? I should have known my luck had run out when old Billy dried up this morning. Billy? Must be his pet cactus. Say, where are you headed? Just over to the prosecutor's office for a little interrogation. It's a voluntary appearance, but we all know I won't be coming back. Sorry, but you can't go in the evidence room today, partner. But Mr. Marshall, why did you do it? Why did prospectors head west? If ever there was a case I needed to know the truth about, it was that one. Before you turn yourself in, Mr. Marshall, would you mind telling us exactly what happened? Looks I won't be getting a steak lunch today. Yeah, I don't know if you wanna always get a steak lunch from the puke queen, you know? Anyways, his hat set him free. No, it's just because he hasn't gone to the prosecutor's office yet to get, you know, detention. Anyways, dark trial. Something was fishy about that trial from the beginning. It wasn't just me either. All the detectives thought so. What do you mean, fishy? Some of the facts reported were inconsistent with the evidence we found. For example, the murder weapon. The murder weapon? You mean that switchblade knife with the broken tip? That was Joe Dark's, all right. But in the initial autopsy report, a question was raised. A question? The blade of the knife was not a perfect match with the wound the victim sustained. What does that mean? It means there was a good chance that knife was not the murder weapon. Oh? However, in the report that was finally submitted, that possibility had been erased. Could the facts have been concealed with forged evidence? Clearly. Turn yourself in after lunch, Marshall. Well, He only has so much time. That case left behind scars on all of us. The scars that the SL9 incident left behind. Well, let's talk about Prosecutor Marshall first. I got the looks, but he got the brains. You say that, but you're almost identical, so... Whatever. He was one of the best prosecutors around. I had just made detective when it went down. It was our first case to gather. How old was he, your brother? He was 27 at the time. He was awarded the highest honor that very day. The highest honor? You don't mean King of Prosecutors. Not that again. What are you looking at me like that for? That's an honor for a prosecutor. Mr. Marshall must have really been close with his brother. Oh, that's funny. I mean, it is kind of a mockery. At least to Edgeworth it is. But who knows. The day the SL9 incident took place, that wasn't the same day as... That's right. It was the day of the evidence transferal. Interesting. It was drizzling that morning, and by nightfall there was thunder. I can't believe 2 years have gone by already. I tried to steal the evidence so the case wouldn't die. Apparently someone tried to stop you. Detective Goodman was murdered, and the evidence locker was empty. There was something going on behind the scenes in that case. We all knew that later. Every detective involved in that investigation, save one, was taken care of. Miss Starr was fired, and I was demoted and boxed away in a tiny room. What about Detective Goodman? If they did something to him too, the commissioners would get suspicious. No, they were careful enough not to be too obvious with him. They? Who are you talking about? Don't get upset, Bambina. I mean Damon Gant and Lana Skye. Ooh. The Oscars for prosecutors. I mean, fair enough, although in this case, they're a little bit closer to Razzies and reception. Although I guess Edgeworth has reason to feel cheated in such a reward, because originally he had wanted to be a defense attorney. But anyways, Chief Detective Damon Gant and his second-in-command, Lana Skye. There wasn't a person on the force who hadn't heard of the duo. That case was the biggest step in both of their careers. After that case ended, Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office, right? Yeah, Damon Gant, the new chief of police, arranged for that to happen. She's never been the same since she left. Everyone who knew her said so. Chief Prosecutor Skye was totally different when she was a detective. Now that he mentions it, Emma said something like that too. Tell me, what happened to my sister? Sorry, Bambina. Her secret is too well guarded. I never found out. Lana's secret. Lana's secret. Now on Wall Presents Plus. Anyways, it all started 2 years ago. Ay, ay, ay. So there you have it. That's my story. Did you enjoy it, partner? It was certainly enlightening. That's one thing for sure I found out in court today. That boy Edgeworth isn't my enemy. He was the one who used falsified evidence to get a guilty verdict. But someone else was the one who gave him that evidence and planned everything. That someone is Damon Gant. Don't believe me? Well, I don't blame you. I won't even be a patrolman after today. This guy shaves so much, how does he still have skin? I don't know. I feel like he's slowly trying to shave off his skin. Or, like, shave down his chin so that it's even more pointed. But I don't fucking know. Although that does make me think of a No Sleep story that involved a South Korean girl. Because for reference, in South Korea, plastic surgery is sort of a thing. But it's a little bit of a double-edged sword because while a ton of people are basically recommended to get plastic surgery, it's also a thing where if you wind up getting plastic surgery to have some sort of perfect traits or whatever, you wind up getting into this sort of area where you are just called fake instead of ugly or not perfect, which is also a thing that happens here in America, but it's a little bit stronger there in South Korea. And anyways, in this No Sleep story, essentially it was this girl was doing a lot of surgery on herself. It was eventually discovered by her quote-unquote friend, the narrator of the story, that she was like, that she had like killed her parents, a person who had been there to try and collect bills, because she had an actual doctor perform the surgery at first, but then she started doing some of her own work to shave down her chin. So yeah, it was a dark fucking story. It was good and well written, but holy fuck. Anyways, No Sleep is such a weird and wonderful subreddit. Anyways, Marshall is secretly Leatherface. Anyways, let us continue. Too bad I won't be around to work with you when you become a real scientific investigator. Adios, Bambina. Okay. Also, I just noticed, the, Blue Badger isn't moving. Alright, Criminal Affairs Department. February 24th. Police Department Criminal Affairs. We don't get timestamps anymore, it seems, but whatever. This place is always pretty empty, but today it's deserted. That must mean everyone's busy solving crimes. Oh, if you're looking for the others, they're all in the conference room. Thanks. Wow, he actually talked to us. With the chief prosecutor saying what she did, and the decision about what to do about Mr. Edgeworth, not to mention her statement to the media in tomorrow's trial. There's more chaos going on than Thanksgiving and Christmas put together. I think festive is the word usually used for those. Sir, we'd like to have a look around Chief Gant's office. Just head across the hall to the other building and take the elevator to the top floor. Really? You mean it's okay for us to go in there? I mean, we aren't police officers or anything. Hey, you're right. You can't go in there. It's off limits. Come on, Emma! Come on! No Sleep sounds like the CP where someone digs out their eyes and dies on the bathroom floor. Oh my god. I mean, in this case, this girl was just like shaving down her jaw. Gotta get that narrow point. This one was way more bony than IE, though. But yeah, who knows? Anyways, now I see where Detective Gumshoe gets his unique charm. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's head to the chief's office. Oh, Emma. Let's not get caught, please. Holy fuck, is this office overdone? Why the fuck is there an organ? Why is there an organ in this office? Is this guy fucking Gene Descalay? I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe that's why this guy looks so big and bulky. He's constantly hiding a cape. A cape and a really frilly costume underneath his suit. Not just a secret hero. Not a secret hero in this case, a secret villain. Herschel Layton, come and get your fucking brother. He's at it again. That office needed an organ, obviously. Anyways. Chief's office. Oh boy. Whoa, where am I? In the chief's office, silly. At least that's what it said on the door. Check out that pipe organ. That's real, isn't it? Hey, I used to take organ lessons in kindergarten. Organ and not just like piano? I mean, okay. I know for a fact that actually I was in a Montessori school in 5th grade, just for 5th grade. But at that school, they teach from, I think it's 1st grade on up, piano. Or is it 3rd grade on up? I forget. Actually, no, it's 4th grade and 5th grade. Oh, yeah, that's right. It's 4th and 5th grade. Oh, anyways. Even the game knows the organ is weird. I mean, duh. But, like, in kindergarten, they used to call me Little Miss Bach. I thought I was a genius until they tried teaching me notes. Oh, God. I never could remember where C was. I mean, that's fair enough. I still have to play a few notes to figure out where B is because I almost always started with B because I was learning Hedwig's theme at the time. C is generally a starting point, but like I almost always worked with B because B is easier for me to remember. Anyways, that's the only song I've really, really memorized. I still know how to play Hedwig's theme on piano. So there's that. Anyways. Oh god, here's Gant. Hmm? Oh, it's you two. Chief Gant! He put that paper he was reading on his desk. In his desk. Oh, so he was just in here. Okay. What? So, Mr. Wright, have you been swimming lately? No, I haven't. I've been kind of busy lately. I can appreciate that. I've had my hands full, too, with Mr. Marshall's misconduct and Lawton's provocative statement. Provocative statement? Oh, you mean about the forged evidence? 2 years have passed since that incident. My, how time flies. See that big picture on the wall over there? That's the picture of Lana, Neil, and me. So this is Mr. Marshall's brother. Huh. We took it to commemorate our work together. Something's not right with this picture. That's the vase! Oh my god, that's the vase! That's the vase in the background! Also, why is there a sword? Why is this statue in front of Lana? That feels weird. I can't quite seem to put my finger on it, though. Gant team picture added to the court record. Does the chief have a church kink? Have a church kink? What's with that tie and the organ? You know, I just realized maybe. He is a bit of a fop though. So like, is he something of an alt? I don't know, like an alt of what's his face from the Hunchback of Notre Dame? Who knows? Anyway, I'd like to reminisce that day, but there are matters that need my attention. I'm going to lock up here, so let's get out together. Oh, but this office. It was a crime scene 2 years ago, wasn't it? That case has long since been over. There's no need to investigate it anymore. All the same, we'd still like to have a look around. Perhaps you didn't hear me. I said there's no need to investigate it anymore. Hello, PGM. Damon has a god complex. We been new, Midnight. We been new. Now hurry up and get out. I have a meeting to attend. Yup, Gant has a god complex without a doubt. Looks like we weren't welcome. It seems that case isn't over with yet after all. What do you mean? Chief Gant denied a request to search the crime scene. That means there must be a reason he doesn't want us looking around in there. You mean like a clue? There's gotta be a way we can get inside the chief's office. Legally or not. Because that's always an option with Phoenix Wright. Anyways, movement. How do we get there? Ha 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 ha. What's the underground parking lot right now, by the way? February 24th, Prosecutor's Office, underground parking lot. No one's here today, not even Miss Starr. Everyone's probably busy looking into what exactly went down in the evidence room. That must be where the detectives are. But we proved in court today that no one was murdered in the evidence room at 5:15, on the day of the crime. Yeah, I thought we were finally making some headway in our case. But instead it looks like we just ended up making Lana look even more guilty. Hang in there, Lana. I've got to find all the answers by tomorrow. Finally, I understand what this little box up here is. That's the security room. Duh! Oh, wow! You know what I just realized? Yeah, this really is a game set in like some sort of America-Japan hybrid. They have the car elevator sort of style there. Huh. Fun. I do kind of remember car elevator being in, what was it, like the third Transformers movie? Yeah. Where it was like Sam's apartment so that Bumblebee could be up there with him. God, that guy was lonely. Anyways. Yeah, let's move. I forgot we could go to the High Prosecutor's office. What's in here? Are we gonna run into Edgyboi? Miss Edgeworth isn't here. Aw. Maybe he's being questioned by an inquiry committee? He took a real beating in court today. Yeah, with Lana admitting to falsifying evidence 2 years ago. I guess we'll just have to come back later. Okay. It's like that one cartoon called Mikey Goes to Japan or something, but with crime. Is it though? I don't know. Anyways. Detention center, High Prosecutor's office. I will say it was actually kind of interesting seeing the Phoenix Wright Professor Layton crossover game because of the fact that both of them sort of take a little bit of Japanese inspiration or like Japanese touches because of the fact that both of the game development studios for Phoenix Wright and Professor Layton technically are Japanese, even though both of them were set in completely different countries. Phoenix Wright more so in America, and or like a hybrid Japan-America sort of situation. And Professor Layton is in kind of an alternate of England. It is canonically England, but it's like an altered form of system, or England. The court system is also a hybrid, as in Japanese court. You aren't required to make all evidence known to both sides ahead of time. Yes, that is one thing, Midnight. I believe for the most part, the American system is mostly featured in terms of, well, it's just in similarities to the way that the Japanese courts work. There are a handful of little things that aren't in Japanese courts that are in American courts that are also in Phoenix Wright, but for the most part, those are just in there to sort of tie things up. But at least the rules are 99% consistent in the court cases. I mean, the way that things are enforced is kind of varied, but it generally has a motive. And yeah, it's a lot more willy-nilly, which is kind of weird. But anyways, detention center, no, not the detention center. I meant the criminal affairs department. Avatar is a masterpiece. Avatar is also an American show designed to look like an anime. Yes, yes it is. Kind of a different direction. Although in Avatar's case, it's largely based off of China? China? China instead of Japan. Though I think there are some Japanese influences here and there. Like, the Fire Nation is kind of compared to Japan. Imperial Japan specifically, because of the fact that Imperial Japan had some really, really cool ships. Even further along in the Avatar world, during Legend of Korra, they have some two-bladed ships, like two-ballast ships that have a large central like platform supported by two ballasts. Sort of like a pontoon boat, but the whole thing technically is all submerged. But anyways, it looks a lot like the Imperial Japanese ships that didn't really get too much use outside of like World War One, because eventually everyone started using the single ballast ships, or like long, like the long narrow designs for battleships and such that Europe had kind of been fine-tuning for centuries at the time. Although there are several times where prosecutors fail to give evidence to the defending counsel, we could exonerate the accused. That could exonerate the accused. Yeah. Anyways. Oh, hey, Gumshoe! Hey, pal. Detective Gumshoe! Were you in a meeting? I was, just taking a breather. My feet hurt. From sitting so long in the meeting? Actually, I had to serve everyone coffee. Okay. Sounds like Detective Gumshoe's still out of the loop. Say, have either of you seen Edgeworth? Edgeworth? No. Why do you ask? He's under fire from both the police department and the prosecutor's office. It's almost like the battles between you two in court. That sounds serious. Is it because of what my sister said? That's basically what it all boils down to. That falsified evidence 2 years ago. Now Mr. Edgeworth has a whole world after his blood. Yikes! He didn't even know! Edgeworth's Crisis. Ooh, yes. Nice little chart. Air is the Shaolin, Buddhist monks. Water is the Inuits. Fire is based on southeastern, and southwestern Asia. And the Earth Kingdom is based off of largely central China. These Avatar tidbits are awesome. Yes, they are. I really do like the fact that all of them are also based off of individual martial arts. The Air Nomads have a... I forget what style it is. I think it is Shaolin, but Gumshoe is wholesome honorary himbo. That is surprisingly Gumshoe. That is surprisingly accurate for Gumshoe. You would normally never see those words put together. But Gumshoe really works as wholesome honorary himbo. You know what? Over time, I've liked him more and more as a character. I found him somewhat irritating because of the fact that he was kind of an antagonist in the early cases, but now it's like, okay, we kind of got to work with him. Anyways, but why would Edgeworth be blamed? It's not like he knew the evidence was forged. Lana Skye is a guilty party here, isn't she? Or at least Damon Gant would be as well, because he was also a detective in this. Regardless, the prosecutor is responsible for the evidence he presents in court. Not only that, but as you know, there have been a lot of rumors going around about Mr. Edgeworth. Those who don't like him haven't been able to do anything because of his amazing talent as a prosecutor. But now with this, are there really so many people who hate him? In our world, only those with talent rise to the top. Mr. Edgeworth not only had that, but he's young. There's no better recipe I know of for making enemies. Hey, Dick, keep up the good work! Oh, I love that line. Yes, sir. Let's go out for lunch again sometime. My treat. Yes, sir. You gotta take me back to that joint sometime, okay, Dick? Yes, sir. Seems you don't have any problem with enemies. Yeah, well, I'm careful not to stick out. Except in the right ways. Anyway, I'm a bit worried about him. Under all this pressure, I'm afraid Mr. Edgeworth just might crack. The SL9 incident. Actually, I took a look at the file earlier while the coffee was brewing. He seems genuinely concerned for Edgeworth. Why wouldn't he be? He was concerned for Edgeworth during Edgeworth's case. I mean, come on. What did you expect him not to be continually? Well, did you find out anything? The only evidence Dark left behind was during his final attack. His final attack? You mean when he killed Prosecutor Marshall, who was trying to protect some girl? Me. It seems Detective Gumshoe never realized Emma was a girl. That's when he left the most incriminating evidence of all. Well, what was it? Oh, let's see. I think it had something to do with the murder weapon. Oh, I forget. Look, it's all written somewhere in here, right? His powers of recollection never fail to impress. Gumshoe doesn't stick out. I'm sorry if he gets you demonized. Demonized or demonetized? Whichever, I mean, with YouTube, both of those actually happen at the same time a lot of the time, so, yeah. Anyways, it's not like I actually get monetization off my videos. Not only do I not have enough subscribers or continual views or anything, but I don't actually care. Also, if I were monetized, I probably would have a lot of problems with having all the copyrighted music I have on my streams. Anyways, his powers of recollection never fail to impress. Maybe we should show him this murder weapon. It might jog his memory. Well, first let's talk about Dark's crimes. Dick Gumshoe stands at attention alongside his fellow officers. Ooh. Now that's a security tape I would like to see. The detective has a sex tape. Anyways, Joe Dark was 42 at the time of the crime. He was just your run-of-the-mill businessman, except he moonlit as a serial killer. A businessman? What made him take to serial killing? One day on his way home from work, he hit someone with his car. With his car? So it was an accident? An accident, yes. But it transformed him into an animal. An animal? He killed a man that witnessed the accident. Then he killed a lady who saw the second crime. A kid walked by just then, so he killed him too. And then when a jogger came upon the scene, and was killed as well. Finally, he turned himself in. What the fuck? Who the fuck is this guy? Does he just casually kill people with his car for fun, hide the bodies, and then just go and kill a bunch of innocent people? Yikes! Your child is lit though. Aw, thank you. XXX Gumshoes in your area are DDF. Click here. Seems he was a pretty careless animal. Of course, this is all conjecture. There wasn't a single shred of evidence. So he turned himself in. Yes, but in the middle of his questioning, he fled and murdered his final victim. Prosecutor Marshall. The one who we actually know was fucking murdered. We don't know if the rest was any sort of cover-up or anything. All we know is, according to him, and, Oh, God. Does that mean he's a serial killer who wanted to try and get away with the perfect crime? And he almost did, except for the fact that he killed Marshall, too? Sociopath didn't think through his fucking plan. Oh my god. The crime was witnessed by someone too, but unfortunately he was arrested on the spot. It's a good thing that last witness wasn't killed. I mean, come on. That last witness was Emma. Ay ay ay. Okay, let's present the Switchblade Knife. About this. Hey, don't tell me that. It has a tag attached to it with a label SL9 incident on it. I believe this would be the broken murder weapon you were speaking of. What are you doing with that? Ever since that case was closed, that knife's been locked away in a locker. On the day Detective Goodman was murdered, this suddenly disappeared from the locker and was found in Mr. Edgeworth's car muffler. That's it. Now I remember what that incriminating piece of evidence was. When you showed me that knife, it all came back to me. Well, what is it, Detective? Quick, before you forget again. Murder weapon! This knife, it was Joe Dark's, wasn't it? That's right. We traced it back to the store he bought it at, and it had his fingerprints on it, too. Oh, babe?
I'm Andrew. I'm still here.
Yes, you are.
I haven't talked in like 20 minutes.
Yes. So you just wanted to pop in? Unmute yourself?
Yeah. Okay, back to silence.
Aw, babe. Do you have no fun conjecture about Gumshoe and the detective has a sex tape? Standing at attention?
I don't know.
Avatar The Last Airbender went back on Netflix. I'm happy about that.
Yeah. I have all the streaming platforms.
Yes,
except for Hulu. I don't have Hulu.
No. Anyways, back on note of Avatar, I got to revel in the final Agni Kai, and I have to say that is one of the most, just like the best illustrated, orchestrated, and like just set up in general fight scenes in basically the entire show. I have to say it is well done. I loved it. Even if it's only like a minute and a half, it is so good. The sound effects are so good as well. I have to say, I find it hard to listen to the soundtrack because the soundtrack is on my writing inspiration playlist that I sometimes just listen to on its own when I feel like being inspired for like builds or whatever. It was done so beautifully. Yes. It was Castiel. It's weird listening to the soundtrack version of it without the sounds of firebending, which is so weird, but that just goes to show the sound design that goes into all the firebending. Like, it's a really good song in terms of orchestration and everything, but then the sound effects add a whole new level, and it just goes to show how important it is to do sound design. It's so good. Anyways, we traced it back to the store he bought it at, and it had his fingerprints on it too. He wasn't a firebender! Hooray! Yikes. Oh my god, I just thought, how hard would it be to prove someone was the perp of a crime in a world where someone could just, you know, use psychic powers that more or less amount to a modified form of telekinesis of, like, air, even, or water, or, fire, which can disappear, or earth, which can, you know, be washed, I guess, or be moved by almost anyone. Just, yikes. That would be really hard to catch a murderer if they were a bender, too. Anyways, but no one actually witnessed him using it to murder anyone, right? That's where his luck ran out. When you take a good look at the knife, you'll see it's broken. You don't have to take a good look to notice that. Yeah, well, anyway. Take a guess where the broken off bit of tip of the knife was found. That's what did him in. Where was it? The victim, Neil Marshall, was carrying it. Inside his own body. What? Telekinesis pranks where shoes are constantly untied. Oh god. I think Damon would be a firebender. Would he? He does seem oddly scary. He could work as a firebender. He could also work as, fuck, what was his name? In, actually, no. Red White would be that crazy bloodbender guy, from season 1 of Legend of Korra. Not Amon, but Amon's dad. That crazy bloodbender. Who killed a bunch of people in broad daylight. Anyways, it was found deep inside the stab wound. Did it match Dark's knife? You bet, down to the last fiber. That's pretty conclusive. Neil's autopsy report added to the court record. Switchblade Knife added to the court record. You mean updated on the court record? Or whatever. Amon? Whoops. Yeah, it wasn't Amon. It was whatever the fuck his name was. I can't remember it. I can't remember his name. It wasn't Tarlock. Tarlock was Amon's brother. What was their dad's name? I can't remember it. Aang had to take away his bending. That's most of what I remember. He was a crazy powerful bloodbender that passed on his bloodbending powers to Tarlock and Amon, or Noatok, and Aang took away his powers after he wound up murdering a bunch of people in broad daylight using bloodbending. Just yikes. Anyways, well, there you have it in a nutshell. That's all I know. Ironically, that also really works for what I know about that guy who killed a bunch of people in broad daylight and then had his ending taken away because he was a crazy-ass fucking bloodbender. Yes, anyways. Can I ask one more thing? What is it? If it's money you need, you should ask Chief Gant. It's not money, but it does concern the Chief. His office is a crime scene, right? It's where Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered. The Chief's out now, and his office is locked, but we'd like to have a look around if that's okay. Well, any detective's ID card can unlock the door. Yukon! It was Yukon! But also, we have a detective's card! Ooh! But yes, it was Yukon! Thank you, Castile! What, really? But if I let a civilian in there, I'd be charged with breach of trust. Breach of trust? Simply put, I'd be canned. Oh. Sorry, pal. I don't plan on getting fired because of you. How about this ID card? It was Detective Goodman's. That won't work either. The data was deleted the day he died. Aww! Wait. But didn't that let us into the evidence room? Oh. So in other words, Gumshoe is our only chance of getting into that office. But it let us into the evidence room! Oh no. I wonder if there's something we could show him that would make him change his mind. What could we show him? The Gant team picture? Died from punctured heart and lung. Ooh. The jar? No.
Maybe?
Is it the jar?
Maybe. It's not like you're on the stand. You can just show people anything. You won't get penalized.
Okay, present the jar. About that jar, I think I've seen it before somewhere. Somewhere? Or maybe it's one of those memories people have from previous lives. This must be the most uninformative detective I've ever met. Something about him makes me feel uneasy. It's like I'm in the chief's office and he's yelling at me. Yeah, because it's in the back of that fucking photo, but it's not in the chief's office anymore because of the fact that it was broken during that incident. Could I have seen that before? Well, is there another talking point? Damn it. Now can I present that fucking photo?
Sure, I don't know.
Let me share a little advice with you as a detective. If you don't have a clue, keep your trap shut. I'll, keep that in mind. Sheesh. Well, fuck you too! I wanted to show you where you've seen that before! Gumshoe is the avatar. He's reincarnated. It's canon. Is it though?
Pressure. It can plunge you.
Is it though?
Dark close.
Anyways. I will say, Gumshoe feels like an older Bolin after he decided to join the police force to try to be closer to Mako, and then Mako left to be a prosecutor. Or a bodyguard. Who knows? Anyways,
When you have depression, it can plunge you into deep, dark lows.
what on earth are you playing, babe?
I'm trying to make rave mashups.
Okay?
That's literally all I've been doing for the last, 2 hours. Me and Ola just going back and forth making and sharing rave mashups.
Oh, fun.
I've gotten some really good ones. Like, he had a great idea. He took Sour Candy, which is the today came out Lady Gaga Blackpink song, and then he said, put it with 50 Cent's Candy Shop. And I was like, okay. And then they put out, and I went, oh my god, you're a fucking genius. It's great. And he went, I wasn't expecting this to be as good as I had actually anticipated. And I'm like, exactly.
Is Andrew okay, asked Castile?
Shut it! The microphone was not supposed to be on.
Aww.
You are not you are not supposed to hear what I am doing with my life.
What even
Also, hello,
the hell
Castile.
was
I don't think I ever
that
said
depression ad? Was that just in front of the
oh,
rave
that's
mashup?
what I wasn't sure what you were talking about. I thought you were listening to the song. No, yeah, they always like to have different ads. Sometimes I get Candy Crush ads before the thing. Sometimes I get Dell ads. Sometimes it's those, if you're suffering from bipolar depression, use this and da 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 da. And I'm like, look,
And
bitch,
it's
I don't got.
medication ads and stuff?
Yeah, it
Because
varies. It
America.
really just varies depending on the whatever you're doing. Really much.
Yeah. I get a ridiculous number and variety of ads. It is weird. Although I guess that does mean that I'm one of those people who has quote-unquote tailored ads of a wide variety and basically anything works anywhere so that I get a higher price ad on other people's videos. Good for them. Anyways, present the ID card record. That's the ID card record, isn't it? Yes, there's only one number left to investigate. At 4:20 p.m., the victim, Detective Goodman, must have entered the evidence room along with someone else. Someone with an executive officer number? 777777777. That's 17 too many, Detective. An executive officer. I just might have a hunch. I've had a hunch for the past hour and more, I think. So, yeah. Oh, for crying out loud. We don't have more information to talk about. For the love of God, please. Where is the evidence that makes it so that we can go into fucking Gant's office? Please. Please. Wait a minute. I just realized. This document was only half written. That was the day of the murder, wasn't it? The date was 2/21 to be submitted to
Also,
the
if you
chief.
have bipolar depression, you need to do the bipolar depression in it. I'm getting that ad again. Not the point. Have you been to Edgeworth's office yet?
I did. No one was there.
But did you get the paper on the ground?
No, I didn't. I am gonna go back to the ground. To Edgeworth's office. Thanks for the point, babe. Underground parking lot. It's a good thing the game's hunch finally caught up to you. I mean, yeah. I've suspected Gant this whole fucking time. I did not trust the bitch. He seems too weird. Too weirdly charismatic. Anyway, February 24th, High Priest at Carter's office. I wonder if Edgeworth is back yet. There he is. It looks like he's writing something. Oh god, he's back. Huh? What are you doing here? He sure was quick to throw that paper on the floor. Well, looks like I know what paper we're picking up, babe. Tough day in court, huh? I've had to live the past 2 years with rumors flying around. What's another allegation to me? Mr. Edgeworth, cheer up. I'm rooting for you. That's Edgeworth for you. Always trying to hide his real feelings. Even from me. His lover. So, what do you want? Unlike some people I don't have all day. How very pointed of you. Oh, by the way, I want to examine your room, including that piece of paper on the ground. I wonder what he was writing before. Come on, Mr. Wright. Let's take a look. Are you crazy? Edgeworth is sitting right there. Just distract him. I'll check it out. Distract him? What? Wait. Am I expected to... Am I expected to distract him with evidence?
I'm sorry, what did I miss? What are you babbling about?
Never mind. I clicked the court record. I was confused because I saw the evidence page come up. Anyways, hey Edgeworth. Is that just like a gumshoe at the window there? Oh no, he's falling to the ground. Hold on. First, let me see what this girl's doing crawling around my feet. How like you weren't covert at all. He didn't even look. What? If you can't read, I'll read it for you. Why does he look smug? It says Letter of Resignation. Resignation, Edgeworth. I'm tired, Mr. Wright. I feel as if something inside me has died. But Mr. Edgeworth, none of it was your fault. I know the path I've walked. You don't need to tell me. And the path I've walked hasn't been a just one. I can't forgive myself for what I've done. And no one else should forgive me either. Oh no, I think he's serious. Mr. Wright, please, you have to do something. This letter of resignation, I wonder if I can use it for anything. Oh, well, it looks like I know what is going to make Gumshoe let us into Gant's office. Edgeworth is what? Edgeworth is wild, also incredibly sad sometimes. Do we want to cover all the Edgeworth talking points real fast before we go into Gant's office? Because I know that Gant's office is going to be a turning point. And that'll be the turning point we end the stream on. Anyways, forged evidence. There's no excuse for what I've done. 2 years ago, I used false evidence to obtain a guilty verdict. That's what it all breaks down to, and nothing I can do can erase that fact. But you didn't know, did you? I mean, that evidence was falsified. The police department and the prosecutor's office share a bond of trust. If that bond is broken, we stand to lose everything. The police department's error is my error. My responsibility as a prosecutor to charge. You're in charge. That fact remains the same, no matter what excuses I might have. Mr. Edgeworth, I take pride in my work. So tell me why. Why has it all come to this? Even Edgeworth can't keep this kind of emotion bottled up. Yikes. Are you up for the trial tomorrow? First last year's trial, and now this one. It seems all you do is worry about me. It's almost like those two are kind of like, you know, a thing. Anyway, my shipping right where it's side. To be honest, you're getting on my nerves. Is he though? Or is he getting in your nerves? But Mr. Edgeworth, you can't just walk out on the trial. Tomorrow is the last day. It's too late to change prosecutors. I'll bet that's what my superiors are banking on. I never thought that case would come back to haunt me like this. What do you mean? That list of evidence seems too short. Most lists run twice as long. It's only half as long as most lists? That is odd. After Neil Marshall was murdered, I became prosecutor for that case. I may not have been part of the investigation, but at the time there was only one thing on my mind. I'd use the evidence I was given to prove the suspect guilty. Say, we just saw a picture taken around that time. That picture, something seems strange about it. Day of the crime. We might have to show Ed with that picture. Could you tell us again about what happened that day? The day Detective Goodman was murdered? You were participating in a ceremony of it at the station, right? I've never cared for ceremonies, but I had to attend that one. Because you were awarded this? Those receiving awards can't exactly skip out on the ceremony. I finished up at the office in the morning, then drove over to the police department. You finished up at the office? Yes, just odds and ends, clerical stuff. I didn't plan on returning to the office that day. That is until I was asked to take something back. Take something back? That knife? Or, no, the screwdriver. It was the screwdriver. This. Oh yeah, Chican asked you to hold on to it, didn't he? Which is why he gave it to us. Thank you, Edgeworth. Yes, it was a piece of evidence in a case that was closed half a year ago. Wait, half a year ago? Why the fuck does he just randomly have a screwdriver? You know what? I'm not gonna ask. We probably just need it because screwdriver at some point. Can't wait to crawl into an air duct or something. He asked me to bring it back to the prosecutor's office. That's the story we heard yesterday. So you came back here to the prosecutor's office because the chief asked you to. That's right. Uh-huh. Orchestration. This is seriously orchestration. The fuck kind of picture is Gant trying to fucking weave? This picture was hanging on the wall in Chief Gant's office. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He had just started making a name for himself. Looks like this was taken when he received the King of Prosecutors trophy. Speaking of that, there's something that bothers me. Yes? The trophy Mr. Marshall is holding. It's a little different than yours. Yes, you're right. I remember now. Remember what? That was the official prosecutor trophy used until that time. There's a story behind it. A story? Sounds interesting. Would you mind telling it to us? It's simple, really. Contradiction. That's what the award's based on. Oh? Prosecutor Trophy. This award originates from an ancient Chinese tale. In Chinese, the word contradiction is written in two characters. The first means halberd, and the second means shield. Have you heard this story? Me? Oh, sure, everyone knows that. Why don't you tell it, though, for Emma's sake? Very well. Edward totally knows that Phoenix is bullshitting, but... Long ago in the kingdom of Chu, there was an arms merchant. One day he presented the king with two items. The first was a halberd he claimed could slice through any shield or armor. The second was a shield he claimed could withstand any weapon. Wait a minute. Objection. Those claims contradict each other. Very perceptive. But then again, you've heard this story before, right? It's kind of the unstoppable force, unmovable object situation. This is something that pops up in so many different mythoses and fairy tales and folklore, and just thought experiments throughout the world. It's kind of a thing. Anyway, as you mentioned, the very description of these items discredit them both. Then when the king pointed this out, the merchant was left speechless, and thus the Chinese word for contradiction was born. Well, it's not just word, although it is a term. So the chipped shield and broken knife symbolize Precisely so. They symbolize the merchant's items. The ancient tale ends with the merchant at a loss for words, but it's in our nature to pursue matters to their conclusion, even if it results in something as ugly as this. Oh, thanks, Mr. Edgeworth. I learned something new today. That's funny. If that's so, then why were you only given a shield? You'll have to ask Chief Gant. 2 years ago, he had the halberd part of the award abolished. Chief Gant. Oh! Wasn't there a little pocket knife on that trophy? That's very weird. Okay. Is this the halberd from the fucking trophy? Or wait, no. Is that supposed to be the thing that the halberd from the trophy actually was? But, you know what? I don't know. That's somewhat weird. No. Maybe that doesn't add up. Yeah, no, I don't think it does. Anyways, these Oscars are full of drama. What awards. Anyways, thank you, Edgeworth, for your time. I would... Oh? Why is this popping up now? Prosecutor's office parking lot. Excuse me. Oh, hi, Angel. Would either of you care for a quarter pound of roast beef? Considering you're the vomit queen? No! Miss Star! I guess she's out of lunches. You certainly are the curious sort, aren't you? Kind of like the first person who sucked a cow's nipple to discover milk. Oh my god! Still, I never thought you'd go digging up that case from 2 years ago. Everyone in this trial was involved in the SL9 incident. Not only that, but the murder occurred on the very day the evidence on that case was due for transferal. This isn't attributed to mere coincidence. Aren't you forgetting something? You know, that little scene I happened to witness? The instant Lana stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. No matter how much of the past you dig up, it won't change what I saw. Roast beef is meant to be savored when eaten. Miss Star's hatred toward Lana. It all dates back to 2 years ago. Angel, what the hell? I know, exactly. Yeah, I'm not talking to you right now. I'm going back to the police department because I have something for Gumshoe, I think. Wait, hold on. Can I not go into the police department? Oh, wait, yeah. I was confused by Criminal Affairs Department. Wait, why is this popping up again? Criminal Affairs. Oh, you're back. You're still here? I gotta make 150 copies of these files. Brewing coffee, copying files. I'm turning into a regular DJ. You're a DJ as well? If I'm not mistaken, I think he means desk jockey. Oh, that DJ. I admire your persistency, but my answer's still no. I'm not letting you in the chief's office, period. It'd be my neck on the line. That office is the last crime scene in the SL9 incident. I have to take a look in there. There's got to be something we can do to make the detective change his mind. Well, let's try presenting the Letter of Resignation. Let's see if that scares him enough. What's this crumpled up piece of paper? No way! Mr. Edgeworth can't be serious. Is he ever not serious? I can't believe they pushed him this far. Mr. Edgeworth really feels responsible. At first I thought he was as cold as ice, but now I know different. He trusted us detectives to provide him with sound evidence. But we betrayed him. Aw, detective. That's it. I made up my mind. But, here, take my ID. Yay! We can't do that if someone found out. They wouldn't let you off the hook with another lost item report. Look at me. It's no secret I'm already out of the loop. After all, I'm friends with Mr. Edgeworth. Depending on how this case turns out, I may already be as good as terminated. What? Oh, right, because Edgeworth is resignating. Oh, no. He's already turning into a desk jockey. Aw, Gumshoe. So at least let me do this. For Mr. Edgeworth's sake. Alright, Detective, thank you. Gumshoe's ID tucked swiftly into your pocket.
Time to end the stream!
Alright.
And we will be investigating Damon Gant's office. Ooh.
Let's just save here before we try and pop up in Gant's office.
Ooh. Ooh. I don't know.
Oh my god.
Ooh. 273
Ooh.
subscribers. I think that's higher than you usually are. You're almost at 300, babe. All thanks to me.
Yes, thank you, babe.
No, I know. It's both of us, but also me and sex-crazed fiends who want to watch us play coming out on top.
Oh my god, yes.
Let's go see what that video's up to at this point. Let's see. That video now has... I don't remember what it was the last time we checked, but it is now up to 44,337 views.
Holy shit.
Let's see. Most recent comment
say, please no censor.
Most recent comment from It's Gaming Time. Why it's censored? Your reply, because this isn't Pornhub.
Yes.
Let's compare that to our other finale. Oof, only 69 views.
I know, because it's not a sexy one.
Not a sexy, although it does have 3.
It also doesn't have the alluring thumbnail with
yes, that
Brad looking at.
Alluring thumbnail is pretty good. Oh my gosh, you're finally continuing coming out on top from Midnight Rockruff. And please make another video because I love them so much from Mr. Poopy.
Ah, yes.
Well, we really got to get on that and do Ian's thing and then be done forever because goddammit it takes so long to do those fucking videos.
Yeah. It's kind of sad. I mean...
we'll see. We may go back, but that's another... We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. Alright. Anyways, that should do it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please leave a like if you did. Subscribe if you want to see more. Hit the notification bell for notifications as to when I go live. Either with Andrew on Thursdays from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. U.S. Central Time, approximately. Sometimes we go overtime like we did today, just a little bit. Sometimes we also start a little bit late, like today. I was a little bit held up, but, sometimes things happen. The bell will help a little bit in terms of like, oh, hey, I'm finally actually live, Sometimes. It's a little inconsistent, but it can help in certain times. Excuse me. And then, you can also find more stuff that I do on my channel, including also my Sunday streams, though sometimes those VODs get blocked because of copyrighted music that I like to play during them, because I'm just sort of like chilling, playing Minecraft or Factorio or whatever. Which, by the way, I think this week I'm going to go back to playing Factorio, or back and forth between Factorio and Minecraft, because it's been a little bit. I wanted to figure out that cake machine, but yeah, I'm not going to make that cake machine now, because of the fact that it was breaking my world, and I would rather not experience that. So, yeah, that's that. Anyways, I stream from 6 to 9 on that day. 6 to 9. And you can check out my channel also for just general videos that I make. And Andrew's channel, which is also in the description of the stream. And some friends who are also on my channel recommended page. Yeah. That should do it. Thank you so much for watching all this time. This is GaysSmith and...
Andrew B. Goodbye!
Signing off until next time. Take care. We'll see you guys. Bye!